Well, good morning, everyone. And as you well know, when you turn on your set at 7 o'clock every morning here on the live morning show, you don't quite always know who to expect or what to expect. And this morning is another one of those. We left here yesterday saying that we would see you on Wednesday, and circumstances have since changed, and we've done a little switcheroo. So I will be hosting the show solo today. Obviously, we will have Parker Phillips here in just a moment with the weekly agribusiness report, so we're looking forward to that. But I will not be alone the entire time. Chairman Robbie Davis will be my guest here at 7:30 today as we dive into many of the topics and things that have happened here recently in town and that he has been involved with as chairman of the Board of Commissioners in Nash County. Obviously, the biggest issues is the situations recently with involving DSS and the town manager, county manager, Stacy Schatzer. But also the biggest thing recently has been the dispute, whatever you want to call it, discussions, I don't know what you want to call it. We'll dive into that between Stacy Schatzer and Sheriff Keith Stone and the involvement that the Nash County Board of Commissioners have. So we'll dive into that, those two topics, a few other things. I don't know if I'm sure a couple of other things will come up. I'm not sure about what we'll do with the phone lines at that time. Well, I'll ask him when he arrives on the phone lines. But and anyway, he will stay with us as long as need be until we cover all those topics. And then whatever time is remaining, I will be with you for the latter portion of the show. All right, so with that being said, we will turn over some time to Sir Fred, our resident meteorologist, to let you know how many more of these cold mornings. I would say we went past the cool mark, and it's cold this morning. My phone said 37 when I got up this morning, so I would say we're in the cold zone, not just cool. So we'll see what we can expect for the next few days with Fred, and then as soon as he's done, we'll give you Parker Phillips for the agribusiness report, and then I'll return, as I mentioned, with Chairman Davis a little after 7:30. All right, let's take it on over to the Weather Center.
This weather segment is brought to you by Fred's Food Club, the home of rock bottom prices. Accepting cash, credit, debit, and EBT cards. New extended hours in 3 locations to serve you in Rocky Mount, Wilson, and Greenville.
Good morning, everyone. Time to take a look at our weather this morning. Rather than chilly out there this morning, and in fact, we have some frost out there, and a frost advisory is in effect until around 9 this morning, and that's going to be mainly in the outlying areas of the Piedmont and northern coastal plain. So that will also occur again most likely tomorrow morning. We'll see some fog developing tonight and then fog coming in the morning. But the frost will be, there's a chance of some frost tonight, but it's going to be less of a chance and widely scattered. In other words, just here and way over there type thing. And we won't see that much of it. Okay, let's take a look at our current temperature map, and we'll see that we have a 61 at Piney Island. Now, it's fairly well in tune with Cape Hatteras, so we'll use Piney Island as our high temperature. Hatteras has a 59 at Beaufort, we see 52, 48 at Bogue, 43 at Wilmington, 48 down at Southport. Now, the low temperatures, we have several of them. We can see at Boone, 32, 32 at Eden, 32 Roxborough, 32 at Sanford and Siler City, and also a 32 over here at Roanoke Rapids. So some cities did hit the freezing mark last night. Well, let's take a look at our forecast for today. Fog this morning and sunny with a high of 71. Fog late tonight, clear with a low of 44. Wednesday, fog in the morning, then sunny, high of 77. Wednesday night, clear, low of 51. Thursday, some fog in the morning, then sunny, high of 79. Thursday night, partly cloudy, a low of 56. For Friday, fog in the morning, then sunny with a high of 80. Friday night, clear, low of 56. Saturday, sunny with a high of 84. And for Saturday, clear, a low of 58. Our high yesterday, 67, our low 37. And that's a first look at your local weather.
This morning's Farm Report is sponsored by LS Tractor. Start blue, stay blue.
This year, make LS Tractor your all-season workhorse. From spring applications using LS tillers, box blades, rotary cutters, and grapples, to winter applications utilizing LS snow blowers, blades, and brooms. With this lineup, there's no job you can't do with LS tractors and implements. Learn more at lstractorusa.com or check out your local LS dealer.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. A great big howdy. I'd like to lead off this morning with a summary, a recap of the North Carolina State Fair. I was at the fair all last week. I was in a portion of the fair that was very educational called Heritage Circle. It was below the village of yesteryear. And down beyond where I was stationed, there's a big shelter or pavilion that Commissioner Steve Troxler, Commissioner of Agriculture Steve Troxler, had erected a couple of years ago, and we called it the Tobacco Pavilion. And during this week that I was volunteering along with quite a few other people, a load of green tobacco from the research station in Oxford was brought in on the first Friday, and the tobacco was separated and strung on sticks like from years gone by. It was placed in a permanent log tobacco barn there on the premises, and then from that point on into the week, the tobacco was cured from green tobacco to good smelling, very colorful yellow tobacco from the curing process throughout the week, and this was done with wood and not with propane. And I was honored to be there when all that was happening. So it was a very educational experience, and these are the results of the 12-day fair that we have just completed. According to the State Fair News Office, 926,425 people attended the 2023 NC State Fair. The 2023 North Carolina State Fair ended its 11-day run with a strong final weekend that pushed total attendance to 926,425 people. Other fair highlights included a new auction record for the livestock sale of champions and strong participation of Smithfield Foods Hunger Relief Day and competitive entries. I am grateful for our fair goers, vendors, and businesses that support the fair, said Agriculture Commissioner Steve Troxler. It is a celebration of the best of North Carolina and feels like an annual reunion that brings together everything that makes North Carolina a great place to live. It is also a celebration of our state's $103.2 billion agriculture industry, from the dairy farm families highlighted, the mock tobacco auction, livestock competitions, and horse shows, to the horticultural displays, Got to Be NC Agriculture Pavilion, and soil and forestry exhibits. The North Carolina State Fair Livestock Sale of Champions drew a record of $217,850 in bids, breaking the previous record by $5,350. Monies from the sale go into a scholarship fund that all competitors are eligible to apply for, and to the Grand and Reserve Champion exhibitors. Smithfield Foods Hunger Relief Day saw fairgoers donate 253,000 pounds of canned goods this year, compared to 214,000 pounds last year, combined with 500,000 servings of protein from the Smithfield Foods for the Food Bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. More than 6.3 million pounds of food have been collected since the Hunger Relief Partnership started in 1993. This year's fair had 21,626 entries in general competitions and 2,819 entries into livestock competitions. This year's giant pumpkin and watermelon competitions by weight were the largest competitions of this type the fair has had. The competitions included a 308-pound watermelon, which was the largest grown in the world so far this year, and a 2,124-pound pumpkin. While numbers help us tell the story of a successful North Carolina State Fair, it isn't the only measure, said Troxler. We also gauge success from the happy and smiling faces we see on the fairgrounds as people enjoyed what we hope was their best day ever. Mark your calendars now for October 17th through the 27th, 2024. So it sounds like this was just an outstanding fair. The numbers did not quite reach 1 million, but certainly did approach it. And a good time was had by all, to put it mildly. During this fair event, this news release says, I think it was an 11-day event. Each day, they chose a farm family to dedicate and honor. And I'd like to share a little bit about that. The North Carolina State Fair announces the 2023 Farm Families of the Day. The North Carolina State Fair is honoring farm families again this year through its Family Farm Day program sponsored by Tractor Supply Company. The program is returning for its third year to recognize and celebrate more of the state's rich agricultural heritage and the farm families behind the $103.2 billion of agriculture and agribusiness industry. The State Fair's earliest beginnings sought to elevate the understanding of new agricultural practices and technology. Today, one of the agriculture's biggest challenges is helping people make the connection between farming and the food they enjoy, said Agriculture Commissioner Steve Troxler. Farm families tell that story the best because They're out there every day working hard to grow the food, the fiber, and the fuel we need. We look forward to recognizing these 11 families at the NC State Fair in 2023. The 2023 North Carolina Farm Families so honored by the North Carolina State Fair include Willow Oak Farms of Fuquay-Varina, Rudd Farm of Greensboro, S&L Riverside Dairy of Vale, J&J Martin's Farm Produce of Mount Olive, L&S Family Farms of Nashville, Lee's Produce of Benson, Windmill Acres Farm of Kernersville, Gilboa Farms of Rockingham, Hidden Acres Farms of Lewisburg, Andrews Family Farm of Trenton, Bright Branch Farms of Hendersonville. The 11 families were nominated either by family or community members for their hard work and dedication to our state's #1 industry, as well as their overall love for the North Carolina State Fair. The lucky winners were chosen at random. Each farm family is assigned a specific day of the 2023 NC State Fair. Once more, the fair spanned from October 12th through October 22nd, and these various families were honored through public address announcements and on-grounds signage, as well as being featured on both the NC State Fair and the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Science blogs and social media platforms. Follow along on those outlets to learn more about each farm and what made them outstanding candidates for this year's Family Farm of the Day program. Each family also received a North Carolina State Fair prize pack, including fair tickets to use on any day of their choosing. Congratulations to all the winners, and we look forward to seeing you at the NC State Fair again next year. The 2023 State Fair did run from October 12th through the 22nd at the North Carolina State Fairgrounds in Raleigh, and the fair offers an experience unique to North Carolina to all who attend, and is an unparalleled value with free entertainment, thrilling rides and games, thousands of animals, endless family activities, competitions, vendors, and creative deep-fried delights. So that's a little bit of an overview of a very successful fair. The difference between a fair and a carnival, I might say, is a carnival is just the rides and the things of that nature, the midway, etc., whereas a fair is really a learning experience with educational exhibits, with competitions, with things from the farm that are featured and highlighted at the fair. And so a fair is a learning experience, to put it mildly. Transitioning from the fair into this other article, I'd like to introduce to you all some information on the new Chancellor of North Carolina State University. His name is Gary Fox, and he's the new Dean of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. And this has just happened in recent weeks. And here is an article that's presented by way of a questionnaire. What are your initial goals as Dean of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences? Dean Fox replies, one of the most important goals is making connections with people and understanding where there are opportunities for growth. Our primary goal will be to continue the strong partnerships we have with the North Carolina Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, the North Carolina Farm Bureau, and our industry and commodity groups within North Carolina. I am participating in a listening tour across the state where I can learn about all of the issues facing our agriculture and life science industries and how NC State can play an even greater role. I am going to find ways to provide resources both internally and externally to help our fantastic faculty, staff, and students succeed and be more efficient and effective in their roles. I'm interested in engaging with students as much as possible and in putting together student advisory panels to help lead the college. I will also be visiting the incredible network of research stations we have within the state. I am passionate about making sure that we help those research stations by improving facilities and bringing in new technology. All of this, these comments are the words of Dean Gary Fox, the new dean of NC State. We need to continue to support the North Carolina Plant Sciences Initiative and translate the great research at the Plant Science Building to our stakeholders to really make a difference in the lives of citizens across North Carolina. We have an incredible opportunity to re-energize the vision for the Food Animal Initiative. How can we invest and promote food, animal agriculture research, extension, and teaching at North Carolina State? Animal agriculture is such an important part of our agricultural industry. Another question, what changes do you see on the horizon? Dean Fox says it this way: a digital revolution is happening right now, and it's coming to agriculture and life sciences. We've already started to invest in artificial intelligence, data science, and data analytics at the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. But when you look at other things and when you consider other alternatives, it's going to revolutionize what we're doing and how we're doing it, not only in research, but also in extension and teaching. Another question posed to Dean Fox. You've worked jointly with the College of Engineering on the undergraduate programs in agricultural and biological engineering. Will you seek out new partnerships as dean? One of the things that I'm excited about based on that success is building even stronger partnerships with not only the College of Engineering, but all of the colleges at NC State. For example, how do we best interface with the College of Veterinary Medicine as part of the Food Animal Initiative? How do we better partner with the colleges of sciences, natural resources, textiles, design, humanities and social sciences, and education as examples on important issues facing agriculture within North Carolina? When you consider the complexity of the food and agricultural system, the challenges are incredibly complex, and they're going to require transdisciplinary expertise and efforts. We also need to recruit the very best students into the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences to help us solve these complex challenges. Here's the final question. What were your experiences with agriculture growing up? I grew up on a beef cattle farm and wheat farm in a very small town named Godley, Texas. I graduated with a class of 35 students and was heavily involved in FFA, including traveling the state of Texas, judging dairy cows, which provided so many opportunities to build leadership and public speaking skills. I'm a big supporter of youth educational activities like FFA and 4-H. I was a first-generation college student, and it was a shock coming from a town of maybe 600 people to walk into a chemistry class of 250 students at Texas A&M University. But the thing I could control that was a part of my fabric from growing up on a farm was hard work. It's hard to outwork me, and I plan on using that work ethic as Dean of the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at North Carolina State University. We've spent some time this morning recapping the events of the North Carolina State Fair, and indeed it was a great event. to my knowledge, everyone was safe and harmony prevailed from all across the campus of the fair. And we look forward to next week. NC State is doing a lot of wonderful things with research, with technology, and it trickles down locally to our cooperative extension services. And our cooperative extension services in each county is where education is conveyed locally by way of NC State and Raleigh. This is all the time I have. Have a good week. Thank you for letting me tune in, and God bless.
Don't Go Naked Boutique, the thrift store, plus more, is now open in the former Mr. Ribs location at Peddler's Village. You'll find clothing, handbags, beautiful household decor, furniture, wreaths, and so much more. And don't forget to visit our thrift store in the back for gently used clothing, where part of the proceeds go to the substance abuse program at Faith Bible Church in Tarboro. Donations are welcome. Visit our website at don'tgonakedboutique.com. Open 10 to 6 Tuesday through Saturday. Come shop for good calls at Don't Go Naked Boutique, the thrift store, plus more.
I'm Mayor Sandy Robertson, and I'm asking for your vote. I'm focusing on education by partnering with the Boys and Girls Club to start the At Promise Academy. I've partnered with the Edgecombe County School Board to research innovative school programs for the demerger. And I give every graduating senior in the Housing Authority a gift certificate to celebrate. Join me in making a difference for Rocky Mount. Vote Sandy Robertson for mayor. Paid for Citizens for Sandy Robertson. Please remember to vote.
Looking for a nursing position that has the benefits of a large hospital, but a culture where you're more than just a number? At UNC Health Nash, you can get both. Take advantage of great benefits, including signing bonuses up to $25,000, student loan forgiveness, and much more. Plus, gain valuable frontline experience in an organization that prioritizes nurses' feedback. Apply today at nashnursing.com and discover how you can get big city benefits at this small town hospital.
What is the Davis Furniture difference? The difference is we buy with you in mind. For generations, we have listened to our customers. We can help you find the look you want for every room in your house. Quality, style, color, and of course, service. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Davis Furniture, the family business where we treat you like family. Let us help you make your house a home. Davis Furniture, historical downtown Rocky Mount, on the corner of Hill and Main.
We're in our 18th year of practice at the Hammer Chiropractic Center, and we've seen over 15,000 different people in the Rocky Mount area. 40% of headaches actually come from a neck problem. Many patients come in taking multiple aspirin, over-the-counter medications and such a day, and we can get you to stop doing that and actually fix the problem so the headaches don't rise anymore. A lot of people think chiropractic hurts. It does not. Most of the people come in and they feel great when they leave.
Sal's Pizza, an Italian night out. Taste pizza fresh from the oven. Delicious Italian dishes made from fresh ingredients with savory sauces and textures that envelop the taste buds, satisfying with every bite. You won't leave Sal's Pizza hungry.
Best pizza in town, bar none. Love it. It's authentic. It's good stuff.
This is over the top. Sal's probably has the best pizza I've ever tasted.
If you want a dine-in authentic place to eat gourmet Italian cuisine, come to Sal's Pizza, home of a local secret, the Grandma Pizza, famous for its authentic taste. For the finest, most delicious dishes, this is the place. 2820 Sunset Avenue, Rocky Mount. Ask about Sal's Pizza catering your special events.
Promise the freshest ingredient in the market.
It's Christmas time in Selma, North Carolina, live at the Rudy. The cast is so excited to continue their 25-year tradition as they present the 2023 Christmas Jubilee. There's no better way to celebrate the Christmas season than to bring your friends and family to Live at the Rudy's Christmas Jubilee. Shows run November 11th through December 28th. Make reservations now. Buy tickets online at rudytheater.com or call 1-877-THE-RUDY. Merry Christmas from Live at the Rudy, and we'll see you there.
Shop local at Traded in Small Shops Mall. Traded is stocked full of gently used items, all backed by a 30-day warranty. Plus, when you shop at Traded and you bring some items you're not using anymore, you can get paid in cash on the spot. Next door, you can shop nearly 100 local merchants selling a variety of goods. Or you can open your own retail store at Small Shops Mall with no long-term lease.
Locals shop local at Traded at Small Shops Mall.
I'm Daniel Moss, owner of Cornerstone Funeral Home, and I'd like to invite you and your family to give our family an opportunity to serve you in your time of need. And we offer a full line of funeral services, everything from visitations to graveside services to cremations on site with a live crematory, as well as a banquet hall to meet the catering needs of our families that we serve. We offer catering service. We offer refreshments prior to visitations and services of our family. And we want to invite you to come and experience the difference here at Cornerstone Funeral Home.
And good morning and welcome back to the live morning show presented by Don Bullock Chevrolet. We appreciate so far the contributions of Fred, our meteorologist, and Mr. Parker Phillips, who always do a diligent job of bringing us the latest in the weather and the agribusiness farm report. So we appreciate them and what they've contributed to the show so far. For the remainder of the show, or as long as we want to be here, I'm privileged and honored to have Mr. Robbie Davis, Chairman of the Board of Commissioners in Nash County, with me right now. Chairman Davis, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Wayne.
Glad to have you.
Appreciate the opportunity.
We have had a heck of a lot of discussion about all kinds of things that are going out. You have information, you have rumor mills, you have opinions, you have everybody thinking they know this and know that. So Chairman Davis has asked for some time, and we have certainly granted him that opportunity and glad to have him. So before we dive straight in, Commissioner, Chairman Davis, there's just a lot of confusion out there. We've got the situation with DSS, the situation with the sheriff, the budget, drug task, and we're going to dive into all of that. But lead us off by saying what prompted you to, I guess, just generally want to come be with us a little bit this morning.
Well, I think, Wayne, what prompted me was sometimes Sandra will send me a clip of the show. I'm generally gone early in the morning.
Right.
I don't get a chance to watch the show because I still work full time.
Of course.
With my son running a construction company.
Right.
And having watched you and Liam last Thursday.
Right.
And the questions that y'all had, not that anything was said that was inaccurate, but there's a lot of questions that weren't answered. I also had numerous phone calls about the Wednesday show.
Oh, yeah.
And some things that were said on that as well.
Okay.
And, you know, I just felt like it was time for me to make an appearance and to defend our Board of Commissioners, quite frankly, and to defend our manager as well.
Okay.
She's taken a pretty bad beating, for lack of a better word,
I
on this subject matter about the Sheriff's Department but you know, in honesty, it's not warranted, and I'd just like to have an opportunity to discuss that and try to clear up some facts.
Absolutely.
And the way I like to operate and the way our board like to operate, we operate on facts. We don't operate on what you read on social media. We don't operate on what comes from one department or two departments or three departments.
Right.
We have, I think it's a total of about 18 departments in the Office of the Sheriff that we have to look at. And I just felt compelled to come on and discuss it a little bit.
All right.
The one thing I'd like to clear up, number one, is the relationship between myself and Keith Stone. He is a personal friend of mine. I think the world of Keith Stone.
Right.
Always have. He is an absolute great sheriff. We all know that.
Yes.
No doubt about that whatsoever. He is a very popular sheriff.
I agree.
So I, as an elected official, as well as the other 6 of us, have to understand he's a popular sheriff. We have to handle the office of the sheriff a little bit different than we do the other departments, except for the register of deeds. It indeed is an elected position.
Correct.
As well, but it doesn't carry the limelight with it that the Department of the Sheriff.
I completely understand.
But I do think Keith, and if he were on here, I would also think that he would say we get along great. We think a lot of one another. Do we agree on everything? Absolutely not.
Of course not.
But with the 2 jobs we have and that our board has, we're not going to agree on everything.
No, there's no way. I want to, and like I said, I have some questions that'll kind of lead us through this whole process. And,
sure.
And at the moment, we're not going to take phone calls, so we want to give Mr. Davis every opportunity to get his information out there and kind of go through this outline. We'll let you know at a later time when, if you'd like to call and make a comment or a question. But let's go back to where probably all of this really hit the fan. The 36% increase that was given by our city manager, Rocky Mount City Manager, Keith Rogers, which kind of, and I remember Lim and I sitting here and saying, I think that figure in and of itself, Chairman Davis, blew everyone away. Not to say that, you know, our officers don't deserve more, and if we can give them more, you know, that's the opinion of folks. But 36% increase raised a lot of eyebrows. Like, whoa, you knew at that point the conversations were going to start coming from all angles, fire, sanitation, sheriff, you know, and on down. Take me back to when you first learned of that increase. What were your thoughts about that, and did it lead you straight down this path of saying, I know what's now going to hit my desk here pretty soon? What were your thoughts on that initial big increase from Rocky Mount?
Wayne, I'm going to be very careful on how I say the answer to your question, because I'm not here to criticize another governmental agency whatsoever. I don't know what all they face, like I know what the county faces.
Of course.
But to answer your question, what triggered me most was the statement that was made of a 36% raise, and the cost would be covered with lap salaries. Knowing how a budget works like I do, whether it's a business or whether it's government now, having 21 years learning how government budgets work.
Right.
That is not a sustainable item. I think any layperson would know that. Lap salaries means those salaries that are left in a county because you didn't have every position filled at every moment. And so we all budget such that we use fund balance. And this year, Nash County used a very large percentage because we had so many needs.
Yeah.
And about a little over $8 million. But lap salaries is a big part of how you close that gap, because you certainly don't want to spend $8 million out of fund balance because you mess up everything else you do.
That's right.
Particularly borrowing money for very important capital projects.
Right.
So that was my first thought, that would really be difficult. But of course the other thought was I knew that it would put a a lot of emphasis on our public safety salaries moving forward.
Yeah, that's true.
Fortunately, at that time, we were well into our budget, had pretty much finished it all up, and it didn't occur, or the flux of it didn't come to the limelight until after our budget was pretty much finished, not approved, but pretty much finished. So it didn't affect us that much this year.
Right.
In the beginning. Now we're getting the repercussions of it, and it's just not the city of Rocky Mount that you pointed out. It's all over the state. It's all over the nation.
Absolutely.
But it still doesn't change the fact that the Board of Commissioners has to look after all 750 of our employees.
Right, right.
If you sit now and watch in the rearview mirror, and you can learn a lot in the rearview mirror, but you don't need to be looking at it too long. You need to be looking at your windshield.
I understand.
You know, it has caused Rocky Mount some issues with the rest of their workforce, and has caused a lot of disturbance, and that's just not good for Nash County, Edgecombe County, or the city of Rocky Mount, because it puts a light on us that we really don't want that light on us. Neither one of these agencies do. We're in the business of improving our counties and our city.
Absolutely.
That's what elected officials are supposed to do. And I work probably half of my time at the county I spend trying to recruit industrial industries and those light industries with good paying jobs to come to Nash County.
Absolutely.
And you just don't need that kind of publicity, quite frankly.
Right, and so your job is that much more important to try to balance it, and I think that's why it's so important that you're here with us today. So I want to go to another point real quick. We've talked about the budget approval process. You kind of began to mention that. Now, one of the biggest issues that comes up in that situation, as we talked about the 30, and I remember sitting right here and saying, you know, that's going to cause all of these things to happen. So as that trickles down, now folks are, and as you mentioned, everybody's going to form an opinion. Everybody's going to look at this and say, they need more, they need more, they need more. So the budget approval process comes to light at this point. Now questions are being asked. Is it fair to say that it was unfairly portrayed in a sense that, you know, the sheriff was not getting what he needed or what he wanted? That's what some people were saying. And like you say, anytime you look across town at Rocky Mount and see what's happened, everybody thinks, well, it's just so easy to just do that for anybody. You know, if they can do it, you can do it. Can you walk us through the process of how it was laid out, because Ms. Schatzer recently mentioned that they had just recently received, I believe, nearly a 10% increase. So, you know, all should have been well at that time. So walk us through that process and maybe how much effect that actual 36% increase had on people's mindsets and what they were expecting.
Well, I'll begin, and I brought a couple of booklets.
Yes, please.
To the detail that we get into.
Yep, please.
And this is our budget work session, and we began this in March the 28th, 29th of 2023.
Okay.
This is what the commissioners are given, and we go through this over a 2-day period, and we look at every item in here.
Okay.
It balances revenue with expenditures, and believe me, we are extremely fortunate in Nash County to have an excellent, and I mean, I don't think there's a better one in the state, finance department. There are about 8, maybe 9 ladies that work in that department, led by Donna Wood, and I believe everything she tells me, just like I did my mother when I was growing up, because she is really just that good. Now I do have some questions for her sometimes, but she's always got an answer.
Okay.
And they are a department that works extremely hard. She gets a lot out of what I consider to be a small staff, because they're responsible for everything in the world over there, and the number one thing they're responsible for is get the payroll done and get it done on time.
There you go, and that's a huge job.
I don't have near the employees they have, but I know what happens when we get a snafu in our payroll and it doesn't get in that account.
That's right.
The wives start calling, or maybe in some cases the husband starts calling. I want to say kudos for our finance department.
Right.
But we start with that booklet and we work through that.
Okay.
And what that does is give our manager an idea of where the commissioners are and what we're thinking and what we want to do for the next year.
Okay, that's very important.
We work through that, and then she comes back with another document, which is the fiscal year 2024, and we go by our year ends end of June.
End of June, yeah.
Different from most other things.
Right.
And this is the final recommended budget.
Okay.
She presents that to the Board of Commissioners. It is put out in public. It has a time to be approved, and then we have a public hearing on it.
Right, right.
It'll be tweaked just a little bit, but by this point, it's pretty close. And then we adopt this budget. We adopt this budget before July the 1st.
Right.
We have to by state law, and it has to be balanced at that point in time.
Yep.
Once we do that, it's imperative that the Board of Commissioners make sure that we adhere to this budget, so at the end of the year, we'll get a clean audit, which we always get.
Yep.
And make sure that we control our expenditures to stay within the projected revenue.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
And it's just like you run your household, or you should run your household.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I saw a comment on social media over the weekend that said the biggest problem Nash County had was they had a guy at the head of the Board of Commissioners that tried to run government like a business. And honestly, I thought about that quite a bit. And I said when I was running, and I still believe this today, that's one of the main reasons I'm on the Board of Commissioners. I feel like government can run somewhat like a business. I know that's the one thing I'm going to fail at my term as a commissioner. I see that coming already. But as close as you can get it to it, the better off you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
And grants messed that up. When I first became a commissioner, I'm going to make some folks mad by this statement, a grant was almost unheard of. We didn't get money just given to us for anything.
Right.
It started in my 4th or 5th year. I remember a heated discussion myself and Senator Angela Bryant had about that. And the fact that I didn't like grants, she loved grants, and I still don't like them today, quite frankly.
I understand.
There's no such thing as free money.
Not at all.
If you get a grant, somebody worked to make that money
and
to put in that government's coffers to be able to give it somewhere else, and this just got way too far out of hand.
Yeah, I understand.
But with that said, and the shots fired at me, it's got us in a situation where we depend on them now.
All right.
And so, and late Commissioner Billy Morgan said almost every commissioner meeting, there is no such thing as free money.
Exactly.
It comes from somewhere.
Well, I appreciate what you're saying about but now, and this is where I want to go with this question, because to me, correct me if I'm wrong, you mentioned that these can be obtained and viewed. If I look at this situation, because all the comments of people that have called this show, the things on social media, people giving their opinions of this, and right, I mean, we get that, people have an opinion, but I think it's fair to say, Chairman Davis, if people would actually do their homework and their research in a lot of these manners in which they probably don't, then a lot of these questions and assumptions would probably take care of themselves. I mean, they have to understand the business part. But here's the part that I think really probably bothered you, and correct me if I'm wrong. The term that you and the commissioners and Ms. Schatzer were defunding the sheriff's office. That floated around. And I understand people's opinion, like you say, oh, they're not giving them what they want. Sheriff Stone deserves this. He deserves, that had to bother you. And is it fair to say that if people maybe did a little more research and understood both sides of this, that maybe they wouldn't draw some of the crazier conclusions that have been floating out there? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, the term defund the sheriff's department is probably the craziest statement that I've ever heard.
Right.
This Board of Commissioners, this manager, has not defunded the sheriff department $1.
Right.
I think I have finally figured out where that thought came from, but it came from a term that is used and a technique that is used in budgeting to keep our fund balance looking as good as we can, because it affects so many other things. And the sheriff has a certain number of positions that he can put in his department. If he could possibly fill every one of them next week, the money is there to fill them.
Okay.
I don't know where the term defund comes from. It is a true statement that throughout the county budget, if you've got a historic data that shows you that some departments are not going to ever fill some of their positions.
Right.
They may leave some of that salary money in fund balance in a special place and shift it at the time it becomes necessary, should it become necessary.
Right, right.
But that's a good finance director to be able to recognize that, to help us hold
Absolutely.
what's in the fund balance and what we have to actually put in there to balance a budget. But it wasn't, if that's the term that someone's speaking about, or the policy that is used, or the technique that is used, it's in many departments other than the sheriff's department.
Correct.
There are a few positions there, and I've got a list of positions.
Right, right.
Because I asked a question once I heard that term, but it's not defunding it.
Well, it's almost...
It's just the money is sitting in a place to move there. We have budget amendments every month.
Right.
And it would just be a very simple matter to shift it into the salaries of the category, because every position has a category or a line item or a line number that money goes into, and we'd have one little vote, and there the money would be. But there have been no, and I want to say no positions removed from the sheriff department, or no funding removed from the sheriff's department.
I think it's just the term that came out from the last couple of years of all the media barrage over police and things like that.
Defunding the police department.
Yeah, just I think it's just a term that people now just kind of throw out there freely. If you don't do everything a certain way, and like I say, this is where people need to do their homework and do their research. And look at these things before they make comment. If you've read through this and you understand the relationship that both parties have, whether it's the chairman, the commissioners, the county managers, you understand that their job is to be fiscally responsible. And I think you've done a good job of helping people understand that. They have to look at this and say, okay, we just can't throw money and any amount of money that somebody wants at every position every time. You have to be fiscally responsible. Now, another term, Chairman Davis, that has been thrown out a lot, and I'm trying to remember exactly, the comment was made about positions like freezing certain jobs or within the department, and there was some scuttlebutt back and forth between the county manager in her letter, what she was saying, and then what Sheriff Stone was saying. So there was an obvious discrepancy there between her letter and what she was saying in his response. So can you take us through that? Where did that confusion come from? Have they since kind of gotten back a little more on the same page? Because when you see two big players like this butting heads in a sense and also throwing out completely different numbers, the public is going to be like, okay, what's going on? Who's saying what? Can you talk to that discussion that they had and kind of the mix-up they had and some of the numbers they were sharing with the public?
Wayne, I think you may be referring to the fact that the sheriff came to the manager and the Board of Commissioners and wanted to give salary increases to his whole staff.
Correct.
Except for himself. He
Right.
did not ask for a raise for himself.
Correct.
I want to be full disclosure on that.
Right.
But everyone else would get that. He wanted to do that by freezing positions, and that was the term, maybe not the term he used, but that was the effect of what he would do.
Correct.
Take that money that he wouldn't spend this year and give those salary increases. And the question that I had was, Sheriff, so you don't need those positions anymore, and they can go away? Well, of course, the answer is no. I'm going to need them at a later point, most likely.
Right.
Well, again, you just don't do that. I mean, once you give a salary increase of any kind, it is a reoccurring expense. It happens every year.
Absolutely.
It compounds itself every year as you give COLA raises. And you can't freeze positions temporarily because you haven't got them filled and then expect to have them sitting there at the next time or the next budget period with those escalated salaries over here or increased salaries. I'm not going to say they're too high.
Right.
Because everybody needs to make more money. We know that.
Yeah.
But it's just not sustainable.
Right.
We have to look at things knowing, other than capital expenses, everything is going to happen this year, it's going to happen next year, and it's going to keep on happening.
That's right.
And one thing that our board is very paranoid about, we don't want to ever over-obligate a future board that may be sitting in the Nash County. We want to hand them the financial condition that we receive with the people that were before us.
Correct.
I've been a commissioner too long, 21 years. I'll be the first to admit that, and I got another lady that stays with me that will certainly tell you that. But on the other hand,
we won't go there, right?
We were given a county that was in excellent financial shape.
Right.
It was a different board. It was a Democrat-controlled board, and honestly, I want to say at the local level of government, partisan politics just doesn't have a place. It does get in the way sometimes, but you won't see our board vote many times along a partisan line. We have 4 Republicans, we know that, and 3 Democrats.
Right.
It just doesn't happen much at all.
Yeah.
Because it has no place in local government. You do what you're supposed to do for all people, and that just stays out of your way.
Absolutely. I completely understand.
But I think that's what you may be referring to.
Right.
And I hope our manager never agrees to that. I don't think she will.
Okay.
But then if she does, that would be up to the board to decide whether we're going to support her on that or not.
Okay.
And I try my best not to support. I would not support her on that, and I'd try to find 3 other votes to go with me, quite frankly, because it takes 4 votes to do anything.
That's right. We're going to take a quick break and much more with Chairman Davis, Chairman Robbie Davis here in hour number 2. We'll take a quick break, get some of our sponsors some mentions, and be right back. You're watching the live morning show presented by Don Bullock Chevrolet. Stay with us.
Premier Equipment Company's infield location has the Massey Ferguson tractor for any size job on the farm. On our lot in infield, we've got subcompact tractors all the way to high horsepower Massey Ferguson's brand new, ready for you. And if you're in need of repair work on a Massey Ferguson, we've got you covered.
Hi, Jimmy Carnegie here with Premier Equipment over in Enfield, North Carolina. We provide plenty of parts and service for our Massey Ferguson tractors. Hard to get parts, we can get them if nobody else can.
Premier Equipment Infield, 147 Whitaker Street, Enfield, North Carolina. Open Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 5:30. Call 252-455-5178 today or go to premierequipmentsales.com.
The following PSA is brought to you by Nash UNC Healthcare, Boyce Willis Clinic, and WHIG TV. According to U.S. breast cancer statistics, 1 in 8 U.S. women will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer in their lifetime. In 2023, an estimated 266,120 new cases of invasive breast cancer are expected to be diagnosed in women in the U.S., along with 63,960 new cases of non-invasive breast cancer. It is the second leading cause of cancer deaths among women. Early detection saves lives. Survivors know the importance of detecting it and treating it so you can defeat it. It's a journey that requires tremendous support. When was your last checkup? Beat the odds with regular checkups planned by you and your provider. Detect it, treat it, defeat it.
If you are afraid of new car prices, afraid you owe too much on your trade, afraid of your past credit history, afraid you need a big down payment, Don Bullock Chevrolet in Rocky Mount says,
don't be. With over 30 new cars and trucks, we've got yours. All priced to move and will save you thousands. Or choose a pre-owned to fit your lifestyle and budget. Happy Halloween from Don Bullock Chevrolet, doing business the better way for over 100 years, where you don't have to be afraid.
Our bridal house is now open. You don't need to go to Raleigh or out of the area to find a gorgeous wedding venue. Smith's Pavilion of Dorchester is a premier wedding site right here at home. We have a complete wedding venue that includes a bride and groom suite with a ceremony site, stage area, and in-house chef. Contact us today for an appointment. 252-907-4489. Limited fall dates are available. Smith's Pavilion of Dorchester, where we celebrate life's greatest events.
We're here to invite you to the Darkside Haunted Estates, which is now open for this year's haunt season. After being in this haunt business for over 27 years, we know how to scare you. For ticket information and operating dates, go to darksidehauntedestates.com. That's darksidehauntedestates.com. We're not just another haunted house. We are a haunted adventure, and we're waiting for you.
Hey mambo, mambo Italiano, hey mambo.
Getting ready? Ready for the holidays. This year we got blizzards and blizzards. Bling bling. This is PJ, the trendsetter. I don't follow the trend, I create the trend. Thank you. We open every day, Monday through Sunday. You come down here and we will take care of you.
Learn how to mambo. If you're gonna be a square, you ain't gonna go nowhere. Hey mambo, mambo Italiano, hey mambo, mambo Italiano.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Let it rain, Randy! Woo! Yes! By being prepared for anything! Woo! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
In 123 years, many things change, but some things don't. Like Christmas shopping at P.L. Woodard in historic downtown Wilson. Nothing brings a smile to a little one like a radio flyer wagon or tricycle. Or how about a leaf blower, weed eater, blackstrap molasses, or old timer and trade pocket knives for anyone on your list. The ever popular crab pot Christmas trees are on display and ready to decorate your home for that special gift.
Come by P.L. Woodard and Company where you can find the old-fashioned magic of Christmas.
The tank is on E, and your low tire pressure light is glaring at you again. You do not have time to wait in line and pay to put air in the tires, and you certainly don't want to get out of the car in the cold and pump gas. What if you could pull up to a gas pump and have an attendant run out to greet you to pump your gas, clean your windshield, and put air in the tire, all for no extra charge, while you step inside and enjoy a made-to-order breakfast or lunch? Does that kind of full service exist anymore? It does, at JD's Grocery and Grill, a service station created to bring back the full service experience to all customers. JD's Grocery and Grill is a full service gas station. Eat in restaurant with tasty made-to-order food and a grocery store all in one. The staff at JD's Grocery and Grill is ready to field all requests and will help you find anything you need. Call them today at 252-972-5000 or stop on by at 1240 Atlantic Avenue. Store hours, Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grill hours, Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. JD's Grill and Grocery, at the heart of great food.
This weather segment is brought to you by Fred's Food Club, the home of rock bottom prices. Accepting cash, credit, debit, and EBT cards. New extended hours in 3 locations to serve you in Rocky Mount, Wilson, and Greenville.
Another look at our weather this morning, and rather cool morning out there. The temperature is right now in the 30s. The upper 30s, and we'll get into the mid 60s, low 70s by the time all is said and done today. Let's take a look at the current conditions. We have 37 degrees, the dew point at 35, relative humidity 93%, winds calm 30.38 is our barometer reading. That's a rather high barometer reading, and let's take a look at the forecast map and we'll see why. Looking at the North Carolina-Virginia border right here, you see the big blue H over it, high pressure, and that high is extending pretty much like this over the southeast and connecting with a high over Rhode Island right in here. This is going to bring sinking air, what we call subsidence, through the area. And as that air sinks, it cuts off any chances for any precipitation. To find precipitation, we have to go down to Florida and look at the Florida East Coast, all the way from, say, Jacksonville southward down into the Middle Keys right here. And then we'll see showers and maybe even some thunderstorms stretching from the Great Lakes all the way down into Mexico. And some heavy rain possible through western Oklahoma down through central Texas, right through here, could cause flash flooding and just general high water all over that area. We'll also see over Colorado a small area of mixed precipitation, snow and rain. And then as we go up into Montana, we see a possibility of snow right in here. And some of that snow in central Montana could be heavy right in here. And on the outskirts of that, we see precipitation in the form of rain mixing with snow. And also some heavy snow showing up over central Washington state. So all the action, again, the wintry action out here in the Pacific Northwest and the Northern Plains. Let's take a look at the forecast for our area, and don't really see any precipitation in sight over the next few days. For today, sunny, high of 71. Tonight, we'll see fog developing again, then a clear sky with a low of 44. Fog Wednesday morning, then sunny with a high of 77. Wednesday night, clear, low of 51 degrees. For Thursday, fog comes back again in the early morning hours, then sunny with a high of 79. For Thursday night, partly cloudy, low of 56. For Friday, we'll see fog in the morning, then sunny with a high of 80. Friday night, clear, a low of 56. For Saturday, sunny, warming up with a high of 84. And Saturday night, clear, a low of 58. The average temperatures for this forecast period, the high 78, the low will average around 53. And looking at the Rocky Mountain Almanac, a high temperature, 84 degrees, occurred on this date in 1984, and the low 29 degrees that occurred in 1969. 37 degrees in our area right now. That's another look at your local weather.
All right, and welcome back to hour number 2 of the live morning show. Chairman Robbie Davis, Chairman of the Nash County Board of Commissioners, my guest here for the remainder of the show. And I really appreciate you being here today, because it's hard to do the show alone. I've done the show alone many a time, especially through COVID, but always good to have a second voice, and we appreciate Chairman Davis's time here this morning. Let's dive right back into some of our topics. One of the things that we've discussed a lot is the situation with Nash County DSS and the commissioner's involvement in that, what could have been done, should have been done. And when we're talking specifically about the sheriff right now and the money, the question had come up, Robbie, that did the extra money that was going to DSS, or in that situation, did that hinder the ability to give the sheriff and what he was asking? You're always, when the answer is no sometimes, or let me think of, people are always looking for, where do I cast the blame, what what happened to cause this to not take place. Was there much of a relationship between the money being spent in DSS to not being able to do more for the sheriff? Does that make sense, what I'm asking?
What you're asking does indeed make sense, Wayne, but it has no relationship whatsoever.
Okay.
We have more vacancies throughout the year in that department than any other department, including the office of the sheriff.
Okay.
So there's always money that is not spent in their budget. And the other thing, we only have approximately half of that cost to cover. The state covers approximately half of their salaries in the positions in DSS.
Okay.
So, the manager listed a group of things that she had in one of the meetings I was in. I remember her saying, we've got this, we got this, we got this. It's all accumulates, there's no question about that.
Right.
But there is no direct relationship between the extra money that we are spending in DSS for outside agencies to help us work through that situation in Child Protective Services,
Gotcha.
which we are all very eager to make ourselves better in that department. We're getting a lot of good help from a couple of outside agencies. We're getting a lot of great help from the state of North Carolina that doesn't cost us anything. And the Board of Commissioners are very thankful to the state for coming in and helping us see what our issues were, and we're getting it better every day down there. I feel very confident.
Yeah, absolutely. There was also a comment, we talk about this when money issues come to the forefront, we always talk about taxes. What can be done and keep taxes from being, and nobody wants to hear the term raising taxes. It was said, Chairman Davis, that you had somewhere along the line made a comment that taxes would never be raised under your watch. Somebody mentioned that on the show. I was a caller or whatever, but and let's be honest. First of all, I don't think anybody could necessarily ever guarantee, but can you clarify where that statement came from and where that would have come up, and you want to speak to the comment that, because there was a perception that you had made the comment that taxes would never be raised under your watch.
Let me think about that for a minute, Wayne. As I say repeatedly, I am getting older. I don't remember things like I used
understand.
to. But I also know what my core beliefs are, and I would never make a statement that taxes would never be raised under my watch.
Right.
First of all, it's not my watch.
Yeah.
It's 7 of us' watch.
Right.
I'll use the term Mr. Knight uses over Rocky Mount quite a bit. It takes 4 of us to do anything.
There you go. There you go.
It is the goal of this sitting board to not increase property taxes.
Of course.
We've done it for 15 years. We found ways to do what we needed to do. And the way to not raise property tax is do a great job of your economic development, of looking after your builders, and that's a selfish statement, but to bring as many homes as you can into into Nash County, and just do those things that make us grow our total assessed value rather than growing the number that is multiplied by.
Right.
We've been able to do that, and I do hope we can continue to do that, and I feel comfortable that we can do that.
Absolutely.
So, but no, I can't make that statement. I get one vote. It's unlike municipal government, the mayor, and he didn't get a vote at all.
Right, exactly.
He may get a vote when it has a tie. I'm not even sure about that. But I do get a vote, and I have a separate district to represent. I represent District 7.
That's right.
And, to say, for me to say that it won't happen under my watch just doesn't enter my brain. So I know I didn't make that statement.
All right, well, I appreciate it.
But if I did, you caught me in a bar in a bad position, and I don't do that anymore. I stopped that at about 23 years old, so I just don't think
There you go. I appreciate that. Let's go back to, I want to dive more into the relationship between yourself, the board as a whole, and the county manager, Stacy Schatzer, because as we look at this, everybody, like I say, has formed their own opinions of this. Talk a little bit about, and you've touched on it a little bit, but as far as when there are discrepancies, and you mentioned, the relationship you have between Sheriff Stone, you don't always agree, but, no two people always agree on anything. Talk about where you feel it is important for maybe yourself as the chairman, but also the board as a whole. Talk about the importance of supporting the manager and kind of what that means for the general population as they watch these type of relationships, because they're going to nitpick at everything. They're going to look at this, they're going to look at that. Speak to the relationship and the importance of supporting her in that role. Even not necessarily agreeing all the time, but what is the importance that you have in your role with her?
Well, I first want to say I think our manager has taken way too much blunt of the blame, and I'll use the word blame, that the office of the sheriff is not getting exactly what they want. The Board of Commissioners can only affect one employee over there. We hire and we dismiss the manager. Other than that, she's responsible for everything else over there, except for the office of the sheriff, and quite frankly, he is the most powerful position over there, or she, whatever's in the thing. But through the wisdom of the General Assembly many years ago, they made it work because Board of Commissioners control the money. He controls the Sheriff's Department. So they force us to reasonably get along, and we do reasonably get along. It may not appear like it, and some people on social media do not want us to get along.
Well, I was going to say, you're always going to have people picking those,
but
drawing those lines and taking jabs and everything like that. So, yeah, you're exactly right.
But we have a manager that she's in year 2. When she gets to December, she'll have 2 years under her belt. She just finished her second budget. Personally, I think she has done an excellent job. She was hired on a split vote of the Board of Commissioners in closed session. But when we went out, all 7 of us totally supported her. Did she know everything day one? She didn't. She was very, very strong in some departments. She had some weaknesses in some departments. But believe me, she has caught up faster than I would have ever anticipated and been able to look after the whole county. And she's had a tough year this year.
Oh, absolutely.
With things in social services and everything else going on.
Definitely.
We lost a great manager, a seasoned manager, a manager that was an attorney that had been a manager in 2 other counties. He stayed very frustrated with the office of the sheriff as well. But it just got to the point that he needed to go back home and run a family business, and we respected that. But he was hard shoes to fill. But I think she's done a wonderful job, and the board, all 7 of us support her 100%. She's learned a lot. She has improved tremendously on keeping the board informed of all things. There were some board members that felt like they didn't quite know enough at some time. She's gotten much better at that. She runs everything by. She's very smart. And along the way, she has developed the technique to not let people or employees get under her skin. She suffered with that just a little bit. But she's a very strong lady.
I'm sure it's hard.
And I'm just tickled with her, and will continue to help her any way I can. And I think every board member would say the same thing. And it's proven so on this item that we're dealing with sheriff's salaries right now, because we have all locked in at the same place. Don't know if it'll stay that way, but that's the way it is this morning.
All right, we're going to take another break, much more with Nash County Board of Commissioner Chairman Robbie Davis as we continue on. And when we return, we will allow a couple of phone calls if you have a question or a comment for Chairman Davis, and then we'll have a few other points that we want to make sure that we get to. I want to give him every opportunity to get his points across and his message and clear up anything needs to be cleared up. So we'll be right back here on the Live Morning Show, brought to you by Don Bullock Chevrolet. Stay with us.
No one ever wants to go into a life emergency. In fact, many of us wouldn't even know what to do if we were faced with an emergency, but they will come. Thankfully, there's men and women that train every single day for moments like this. They work on our behalf to serve and protect our local communities. Hi, I'm Kevin Zander from Don's Body Shop in Auto Body Wilson. With everything that's going on in life right now, we just want to take a moment to thank our first responders, for those that pledged their lives to serve and protect in our communities. You know, we all expect people to do their jobs, but some people's occupations may even require them to give of their life as a sacrifice. For this reason, we also want to honor those families that lost a loved one in the line of duty. Our thoughts and our prayers are with you. Let us not take these servants for granted. To our first responders, again, we say thank you. From our nurses to our military, we appreciate your service. And as a local business owner, I pray that we continue to work together and strive for an emergency-free community. Thank you, and God bless.
Building your custom home is now easier than ever. And with America's Home Place, we can show you how. During our 50 years as a custom home builder, we've built homes for nearly 40,000 families and mastered the art of building in the process. From clearing your lot to handing you the keys to your new forever home, we're with you every step of the way. With nearly 50 building centers across 11 states, we're committed to building the home that suits you and your family's needs. We build homes from big to small, in a variety of sizes and styles, modern farmhouses to ranch homes and everything in between. With our experienced professionals, knowledgeable staff, and simplified 7-step process, you can rest easy knowing that you and your future forever home will be well taken care of. Because when you build with us, we treat you like family. Come in today to view all our customizable floor plans, and let's begin the process of building your new home now. Visit us at americashomeplace.com to learn more. America's Home Place, your custom home builder.
It's Christmas time in Selma, North Carolina, live at the Rudy. The cast is so excited to continue their 25-year tradition as they present the 2023 Christmas Jubilee. There's no better way to celebrate the Christmas season than to bring your friends and family to Live at the Rudy's Christmas Jubilee. Shows run November 11th through December 28th. Make reservations now. Buy tickets online at rudytheater.com or call 1-877-THE-RUDY. Merry Christmas from Live at the Rudy, and we'll see you there.
Sal's Pizza, an Italian night out. Taste pizza fresh from the oven. Delicious Italian dishes made from fresh ingredients with savory sauces and textures that envelop the taste buds, satisfying with every bite. You won't leave Sal's Pizza hungry.
Best pizza in town, bar none. Love it. It's authentic. It's good stuff.
This is over the top. Sal's probably has the best pizza I've ever tasted.
If you want a dine-in authentic place to eat gourmet Italian cuisine, come to Sal's Pizza, home of a local secret, the Grandma Pizza, famous for its authentic taste. For the finest, most delicious dishes, this is the place. 2820 Sunset Avenue, Rocky Mount. Ask about Sal's Pizza catering your special events.
Promise you, the freshest ingredient in the market.
Hi, this is Reggie Barrett, asking you to vote for Mayor Sandy Robertson. He is a man with a big heart, a thinker, and a doer. Mayor Robertson rarely takes credit for all that he's involved in behind the scenes. I see him showing up everywhere, helping children, supporting teachers, and cheering on community efforts. Mayor Robertson has my vote.
Paid for Citizens for Sandy Robertson. Please remember to vote.
Visit the shops at Peddler's Village, where you'll find quaint and unique shops that are family-owned and operated, like the Watch Hut, with watches, batteries, band repair, and stainless steel, sterling silver, and gold jewelry. Or visit Vintage Hearts Decor and more, a great mix of old and new at reasonable prices. Or if you're looking for your haircut hero, dial 443-3400 for the barber room. A great addition to Peddler's Village is Don't Go Naked Boutique, the thrift store and more, with furniture, antiques, home decor, and new and gently used clothing. And the Purple Petal doesn't disappoint. T-shirts, used furniture, and a variety of items that you just have to come and see. Let Elegant Persuasions help you plan your next event, weddings, birthday parties, bridal showers, and much more. As you can see, Peddler's Village has something for everyone. South Wesleyan Boulevard in Rocky Mount.
And welcome back to the live morning show presented by Don Bullock Chevrolet. We are glad to have Chairman Robbie Davis with us for the show. There's some great information. Appreciate his time. Before we continue with more discussion, Golden East Crossing is having a artisan market with handmade goods from local artisans on November the 4th. And then the Christmas tree lighting on November 15th. And then if you're hungry this Friday, October the 27th, stop by the Oak Level Ruritan Club out on Oak Level Road for their barbecue chicken plate sale. Starts at 11 a.m. this Friday morning, $12 a plate, $3 for desserts, or $2 for $5. So make your plans to eat with the Oak Level Ruritan Club this Friday from 11 a.m. until, it just says until, meaning and until it runs out, I guess. That's the best way.
Probably so.
Yeah, until it runs out. Okay, Chairman Davis, back to our discussion. I keep thinking of terminology that's being used here. Basic question here. We've talked about the drug task force, and that has been a term that we understand what that is, and there's some discrepancies on what's going on, where does the drug task force stand in all of this at the moment?
Wayne, I'm not sure I totally know, but my understanding is we have a drug task force and we have a highway interdiction team.
Okay.
I may be wrong, but I believe what Sheriff Stone has moved forward in doing is slowing down the highway interdiction team.
Okay.
To use those deputies to do other things in the county where he has some vacancies at.
Okay.
I do not think it has been disbanded.
Okay.
Drug task force, I don't think has been altered any.
Okay.
But again, I'm not 100% sure of that.
Okay.
But you still see busts going on all the time.
Right.
And they just do an excellent job of that throughout the county, as well as helping the city of Rocky Mount. So I believe those are two different terms that have been
almost intertwined in a sense.
Almost intertwined,
yeah.
But probably may not be.
Okay, I appreciate
and I will
that.
contact Sheriff Stone and make sure
Okay.
Of what my thinking is to be correct.
All right.
Because he'll take a phone call anytime.
Oh, absolutely. He absolutely does. I've seen him stand up at meetings with large gatherings and just hand out his cell phone. I'm like, well, it's pretty bold, but also very, very impressive. One thing I did want to circle back to real quickly that we might not have covered completely with Miss Schatzer and Sheriff Stone when we went back through her letter, and I read it a couple of times, and then his response to it. One of the biggest, if not the biggest, discrepancy they had was the number of vacancies in the sheriff's office, I guess, in a sense. If I'm not mistaken, Chairman Davis, she was saying that there were 4 vacancies. Sheriff Stone basically said it was nearly triple that. I think he said 10 or 11. That was a glaring difference in numbers, and most people that have either called in here or talked to me on the side have said, Wayne, how can 2 prominent individuals have such large gap in a number there? Can you speak to that, because that was a glaring discrepancy in their conversation and trying to work through this. 4 vacancies to 11 vacancies, that's a pretty large difference.
Wayne, when you're talking about numbers, it all depends on how you say what you say.
Okay.
Our manager made a statement that I think was 100% accurate. It was chosen to be utilized in a different way. And what she said was, and I have that marked on my sheet here.
Okay.
She said there are 26 deputy positions. There are 10 deputy positions, 11 senior deputy positions, and 5 master deputy positions. And the deputy positions are those road deputies. She said there were 4 vacant deputy positions. I think that is accurate.
Okay.
There are 3 senior, the rest of her sentence said there are 3 senior deputy positions vacant, and there's 1 master deputy position. She was speaking about deputies on the road only, and she has explained that to the sheriff and some of his people.
Okay.
But it's just kind of a play of words that we all are guilty of sometimes.
That's right.
She didn't say anything inaccurate. Could she been more clear? Anytime
Perhaps,
any
yeah.
of us open our mouth, we can be more clear.
I agree with
I'll
that.
just tell you that.
I agree with that.
You can indeed, but I don't think it's, in fact, I know it's nothing wrong with what she said, but it can be construed, and I fully understand that, a different way. It wasn't for vacancies in the whole office of the sheriff.
Gotcha.
That's not what she said, and so we just need to move on beyond that. What they're saying, they're both 100% correct.
Right, and that's what I really appreciate, that clarification, and I like the way you said it. The choice of words, people can take it and twist it, but to get down to the core of what was being said. So thank you very much for that clarification.
The best politician asks a question in a manner to get the answer that he wants.
Yep, that's right.
Just remember that.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. The final question that I have, and then we'll conclude with anything that you feel we might have left on the table. As I think back to the discussion, and this takes me back to the first question of the 36%, like you say, that spearheaded all of this and got this rolling. We talk about salaries of the surrounding area. That's been brought up, and it was kind of like, okay, Sheriff Stone, he's very bold in saying, we have the best training, we put these folks out there, and we do all this training and put them in the best position possible to be great, and then they leave for greener pastures, for lack of a better term. Can you talk through that a little bit? Because that's the perception that I think that some of the public is being given because of this standoff, that this is happening. We are training folks only to have them leave for better, greener pastures and better salaries. Can you take us through those numbers and how accurate is that perception?
Oh, sure. Certainly there is some accuracy in that. We've lost some people out of the Sheriff's Department due to the salaries. What I would like to say is our HR department does exit interviews on everybody that leaves us. Some employees are willing, former employees as they leave, are willing to tell you why they left. Some are not.
Okay.
But in tracking that data, it is factual that the majority of what we have lost is not due to money or totally to money, and some of them are. I mean, I think the last time I checked, we had lost 4 deputies or 4 people in the sheriff's office back to the city of Rocky Mount.
Okay.
2 of those were former employees of Rocky Mount. We hired them from Rocky Mount, and then when the salaries went up, they went back to Rocky Mount. But that's just going to go on.
It is.
I've always not liked that. I don't think we should be hiring employees from agencies right around us, particularly between Edgecombe, Rocky Mount, and Nash County. Because if Rocky Mount hires one of our deputies, that's somebody they have removed out of their service area, because the part of Rocky Mount that's in Nash County is still a part of the sheriff's service area, and he does a great job of that.
That's right.
But that's not the way government works. We don't do that in private business. I've never hired a superintendent from another construction company that still worked at that construction company.
Exactly.
Those days are gone.
Right.
we old folks have old-fashioned techniques that we do, but there's no loyalty like that left anymore.
Sadly, you're right. Yeah.
But we just. It's not always because of pay, is what I'd like to say. It could be any number of things.
Right.
Changing family situations.
That's right.
It all goes, and our administrative staff, the manager certainly reviews all of those exit interviews. The Board of Commissioners do not, because it's personnel matters, and I'm not sure we legally could or legally couldn't, but in my heart, I don't think we should.
Right.
That should be administrative task.
Right.
So,
and one of the things Ms. Schatzer had pointed out was, and I don't remember, correct me, I want to say it was within the last year, and part of the budget and what you guys prepared so diligently, there was about a 10% increase somewhere within the last year or so, wasn't it? That I guess her point was, I understand what's coming up because of the Rocky Mount thing, but you guys are in a pretty good position, just got an increase recently. Comparing it to other folks, we're not doing you wrong here. I think that was kind of, is it fair to say that was really what she was trying to accentuate?
Absolutely, and what she had in her presentation was a chart showing what our salary study showed we should be paying.
Exactly.
The sheriff had different ideas on all his positions at a different salary, and she's got a chart in that presentation. She chose to give the sheriff exactly what he asked for, and the board supported her on that. And so he got what he asked for at that point in time. He got what he wanted in this year's budget when we started, exactly what he asked for. But then things changed because, as you pointed out in this case, partly the city of Rocky Mount, but the whole nation, the whole state mentality just changed on law enforcement.
Yeah.
And I fully understand that, but still, and there's been a lot said about her slide in there about surrounding areas and what they're actually paying. And that slide, what it said was sheriff deputies advertised positions. So what she did was went to some website, most likely. I don't think they called all these. They may have called these 16 counties. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, she took actual jobs that were posted at that point in time and showed the starting salaries.
Yeah.
And when you do that, we stack up very well. I mean, very well, because there, I'll show you, there is the chart right there.
Yeah.
And the sheriff always, the biggest disagreement that he and I have is he feels we should compare our salaries to municipalities. I don't think we should compare them to municipalities because it's a whole different budgeting process and responsibility. Municipalities do not have a health department. They don't have a Department of Social Services. They don't have EMS.
Right.
Even though they do part of that now, but the county has EMS for all of Nash County.
Yeah.
And the list goes on and on. They don't have register deeds. And,
that's true.
And it just goes on and on. So we've got a lot more taxing on our revenue than a municipality does. And plus a municipality like Rocky Mount has a lot of revenue coming in on utilities.
Yeah, that's a good point.
We have utilities, which is only water and sewer, and our battle is to at least try to make them balance every year, and they do not.
Right.
It's very difficult to do that. Your money is made in the gas and then the electric side of it.
There you go.
So most positions in any municipality is going to be more than what a similar position in a county is. And of course, you can always go find, and the sheriff is a master at that, going to find that exception to that statement that I just made.
That's right.
And that's okay.
That's right. That's right.
But it doesn't mean we'll be able to do that. We won't be able to do that.
That's true.
You compare our manager's salary with the manager in Rocky Mount. She's got 24 years experience, I think. He has a lot less, but he makes a lot more money. And that's what the elected officials there chose to pay him. That's fine.
True. That is true.
And while I'm thinking about it, one more thing I'd like to clear up. It didn't happen on y'all's show, but the show before y'all's show, which is a Wednesday show.
Okay.
The statement was made by the host that the Board of Commissioners, primarily me, wasn't sure which one I disliked the most, the sheriff, the mayor, or our local House member. I can tell you that I think the world of Keystone. There's no issue there whatsoever.
Right.
I think the world of the mayor of Rocky Mountain. He and I don't agree on everything by any means because we have different jobs.
Yeah.
But I will always admire him for what he's attempting to do. He's got a tough job. He's got a real tough job.
He does.
Now, if you want to go on to the House member, the county has a lot of things we would have liked our House member to do different, but I'm not going to criticize him for it. What you do when you don't think you've been looked after by the elected officials, you do your best to find someone that you think would do a better job.
Right.
And that's the way we operate.
Yeah.
And that's the way we'll be moving forward. I think that elected official has a disadvantage, having been working for the mayor of Rocky Mountain. That's his employer. And unfortunately, he's not in a position to look after Nash County too good and hadn't been able to do that.
Right.
But with that said, I don't hate anyone, don't dislike anyone, particularly two of those, and I don't dislike Mr. Chesser. I just don't like what he has been able to do for Nash County.
I appreciate that. We will take our final break. When we return, we'll get a last look at weather, and then Chairman Davis and I will wrap up with just some concluding thoughts here on the live morning show brought to you by Don Bullock Chevrolet. Stay with us.
Building your custom home is now easier than ever. And with America's Home Place, we can show you how. During our 50 years as a custom home builder, we've built homes for nearly 40,000 families and mastered the art of building in the process. From clearing your lot to handing you the keys to your new forever home, we're with you every step of the way. With nearly 50 building centers across 11 states, we're committed to building the home that suits you and your family's needs. We build homes from big to small, in a variety of sizes and styles, modern farmhouses to ranch homes and everything in between. With our experienced professionals, knowledgeable staff, and simplified 7-step process, you can rest easy knowing that you and your future forever home will be well taken care of. Because when you build with us, we treat you like family. Come in today to view all our customizable floor plans, and let's begin the process of building your new home now. Visit us at americashomeplace.com to learn more. America's Home Place, your custom home builder.
Experience Christmas at John's Gibson Furniture. Decorations, wreaths, trees, Christmas candles, lanterns, and fragrances. And if you want to make your mantle beautiful for the season, John's friendly staff can show you how. Don't forget to order your Christmas bows now. Everything designed in-house. We have lots of collectibles, such as Fire's Choice Carolers, Karen Didion, and our newest edition, Puas Family Ornaments. Visit John's Boutique, where you can find great designers such as Renoir, Smith & Quinn, Joey Susan, Scout Bags, and Peepers. And ladies, check out our beautiful designer jewelry by Susan Shaw and Julie Voss. John's Gibson Furniture, family owned and operated, located at 1081 North Winston Avenue in Rocky Mount. We can decorate your house, and we can decorate you too.
When you're the leader in disaster cleanup and restoration, how do you make like it never even happened happen? Let it rain, Randy! Woo! Yes! By being prepared for anything! Woo! Whatever comes your way, there's a pro for that.
Serve Pro, like it never even happened.
When faced with special care needs for elderly or disabled loved ones, families want compassionate, comforting care. That's Tender Touch Home Care Services' goal, providing the level of care we would expect for our own. With over 10 years of home care excellence, Tender Touch provides an array of services that keeps your loved one at home. From personal care, light housekeeping, errands, and meal preparation to our private duty care program, which combines all of our home care offerings in one package.
Tender Touch Home Care Services, where your needs are our concern.
Visit the shops at Peddler's Village, where you'll find quaint and unique shops that are family owned and operated, like the Watch Hut with watches, batteries, band repair, and stainless steel, sterling silver, and gold jewelry. Or visit Vintage Hearts Decor and More, a great mix of old and new at reasonable prices. Or if you're looking for your haircut hero, dial 443-3400 for the barber room. A great addition to Peddler's Village is Don't Go Naked Boutique, the thrift store and more, with furniture, antiques, home decor, and new and gently used clothing. And the Purple Petal doesn't disappoint. T-shirts, used furniture, and a variety of items that you just have to come and see. Let Elegant Persuasions help you plan your next event, weddings, birthday parties, bridal showers, and much more. As you can see, Peddler's Village has something for everyone. South Wesleyan Boulevard in Rocky Mount. In 123 years, many things change, but some things don't. Like Christmas shopping at P.L. Woodard in historic downtown Wilson. Nothing brings a smile to a little one like a Radio Flyer wagon or tricycle. Or how about a leaf blower, weed eater, blackstrap molasses, or old timer and trade pocket knives for anyone on your list. The ever popular crab pot Christmas trees are on display and ready to decorate your home for that special gift.
Come by P.O. Woodard and Company, where you can find the old-fashioned magic of Christmas.
If you're shopping for furniture, stop into Aquila Furniture at 1540 North Wesleyan Boulevard in Rocky Mount. They have a powered reclining sofa and love seat with speakers, charging station, and reading lights for only $24.99. Two-sided queen mattress sets starting at $750. Bedroom suites, price dropped to $899. Queen sleigh bedroom suite for $4,000 and king sleigh bed suite for $4,500. Aquila Furniture has appliances, Lazy Susan dinettes, sofa and love seat combinations, anything that you need to fully furnish your home. Financing is available. Come on in today. Don't let a deal on quality furniture pass you by.
Shop local at Traded in Small Shops Mall. Traded is stocked full of gently used items, all backed by a 30-day warranty. Plus, when you shop at Traded and you bring some items you're not using anymore, you can get paid in cash on the spot. Next door, you can shop nearly 100 local merchants selling a variety of goods. Or you can open your own retail store at Small Shops Mall with no long-term lease.
Locals shop local at Traded and Small Shops Mall.
This weather segment is brought to you by Fred's Food Club, the home of rock bottom prices. Accepting cash, credit, debit, and EBT cards. New extended hours in 3 locations to serve you in Rocky Mount, Wilson, and Greenville.
Time for a final look at our weather this morning. Let's go outside and check the currents. 40 degrees, dew point at 37, 89% relative humidity. Winds calm, 30.39 is our barometer reading. Let's go to our satellite picture. We'll take a look at the tropics now. Tropics still active. In fact, we've got another 5 or 6 weeks to go in the tropical season. And we have a hurricane and a brand new tropical depression out there. The hurricane is Tammy, located to about 650 miles south of Bermuda, and it may make a run at Bermuda before all is said and done. We'll keep an eye on it. Winds are 80 miles per hour. The new tropical depression is down here right on the coast of Nicaragua, and it is going to be moving on to the northwest like this. This will keep it over land for at least the next day, and we'll see if it can hold itself together, because some of that land does have some fairly tall mountains in it, and that could disrupt circulation. Winds of 30 miles per hour. Now, the name of this game is rainfall. Quite a bit of rainfall, heavy rainfall, falling over Nicaragua now, and that leads to mudslides. And that is always a real problem down in Central America with hurricanes and that heavy rain causing landslides, so we'll keep an eye on that. Let's take a look at the forecast for our area. Sunny, high of 71. Fog developing late tonight. Clear, low of 44. Fog on Wednesday morning. Sunny, high of 77. Clear Wednesday night, low of 51. Fog again on Thursday morning. Sunny, high of 79. Thursday night, partly cloudy, a low of 56. For Friday, fog in the morning, then sunny, high of 80. Clear Friday night, low of 56. For Saturday, sunny, a high of 84. And Saturday night, clear, a low of 58. Looking across the country yesterday, the high temperature yesterday, 95 degrees. That was at Lynn, Texas. And the low was 16 degrees at Walden, Colorado. 40 degrees in our area now. That's a look at your local weather and the tropics right up to now.
Well, Chairman Davis, it's been a quick hour and a half. Does not feel like we've been sitting here that long. Been great discussion, great points.
It's like all my days. I don't know where to go to. You get up in the morning with a list to do, and you come back home with the same list.
And I appreciate you being here because I've needed stuff to keep my mind off what is coming later this afternoon for me on a
Understood.
So I'm
glad to help you with that.
I appreciate you keeping my mind off of it as long as possible. Final question.
I do say it's good stuff.
That's right.
It's nothing bad in your life.
That's right. Yeah, I talked a lot about it yesterday, and so people know what I'm going through and what sending my son into the mission field today. As a matter of fact, it was when he got his call, it was back on July 4th, and typically they leave within about a month or so. And so his call came on the 4th and said he wasn't leaving until the end of October. This 4 months has almost felt like 4 years, because he's anticipating going, but we're finally here. Final question. The reval process, which has been well noted. Chairman Davis, do you think that the reval will affect the ability to provide more funding to the sheriff's office? Can you talk to that point kind of as we wrap things up, and then we'll let you make like a concluding remark today?
Well, I'd have to answer your question by saying this. We certainly look for a favorable reval.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have that 7 years ago. We were on an 8-year cycle. I think everybody knows by now we got bumped up a year because
Right.
our revals, our numbers were looking better, and the state
Mhm.
makes you do it quicker.
Yeah.
But we do expect some additional revenue. What that is, we don't know. I've got it in my mind what I think it might be, being in that
Okay.
business. And certainly it will help the county provide needs to all of our departments. You asked about the sheriff's department, the sheriff's office specifically. But we have 17 sheriff offices or
Right,
equivalent
right.
thereof, and our board likes to help all of our employees at the same time. We prefer to do things by COLA if we can. A COLA is a cost of living raise, and we basically stated last year's budget that this coming year we would be doing at least another 5% COLA for all employees.
Okay.
But we do expect additional revenue. A conservative person has to look at what that revenue is. We have to publish the number of what a revenue equivalent will be. And in other words, we're now at 67 cents. If we collected the same amount of income or revenue moving forward, we would have to publish that number at what the rate would drop down to. And then somewhere between those two rates is where I hope we'll land at.
Gotcha. Okay.
We do need some increased revenue coming in
Sure.
to look after our human resources, because that's the hardest thing, or the hardest thing to satisfy at this point in time.
No,
It
yeah.
hasn't been that way throughout my career,
No.
but at this point in time, you really got to look after your people, because we've got great people and we need to keep those great people.
That was a great statement to make, and you're exactly right. Many great people in this area doing many great things. Chairman Robbie Davis, chairman of the Nash County Board of Commissioners, has been my guest here for pretty much the duration of the show today. I want to thank you once again for being with us, Chairman Davis. I know you're busy, and so the clarification and the points that you have brought up have been very timely and very well thought out, and I appreciate that information that people need to be able to get. Anything that you would like to say as we basically conclude the show? And like I say, thanks again for being here.
No, I appreciate the opportunity to come on and hopefully provide a little bit of education about Nash County and how it operates and what we're currently facing. I would like to give all the kudos I can to our 7-member board.
Okay.
We work together very well. We've got, and our manager has had to learn. We've got 2 fairly new commissioners. Mary Wells, as you know, passed away, and Gwen Wilkins is in her seat.
Right.
She is very passionate about what she is passionate about, and that's what she should be.
That's right.
There's a lot of difference between her and Miss Wells. Over in District 1, Lou Richardson, who was a absolute great lady commissioner for a very long time, and of course her husband had the seat before that. She was excellent to work with. Mr. Arrington, who got elected to that seat, came on. They are different people as well. But Mr. Arrington has been great to work for. He looks after his district. And then I did see something negative about 2 of our board members in the southern part of the county on social media. And I'm going to tell you, those 2 commissioners down there, which is Sue Leggett and Dan Combs, if you don't think they look after the southern part of the county, you don't spend much time with them. Because they have really brought the southern part. We used to think almost it was in Wilson County, but it's not in Wilson County. Those 2 have brought the needs up to the forefront of our board of commissioners and our budget, and do a wonderful job down there. I'd just like to say that, and to criticize them just wasn't fair at all, because I know how good a job they do.
Absolutely.
In fact, they worried me to death. Worried the rest of us to death sometimes. That's what they should do.
That's a good sign.
I'm only kidding about that.
I know.
But they do a wonderful job down there.
Well, thank you once again for your time, and we appreciate everyone that viewed today and for being here. That's all the time we have for you today here on the Live Morning Show, presented by Don Bullock Chevrolet. Once again, Chairman Robbie Davis of the Nash County Board of Commissioners has been my guest. Thank you again for being with us.
Yes, sir.
And you guys make it a great Tuesday.